welcome back to the Greenhouse Gals. We're here with another episode, and this one we are going to do myths about plants, okay? Is it truth or is it a myth? So,
I'm ready.
Tiffany is our expert. We're gonna ask her, okay? So, first one, leaves take in water. Should you be watering your leaves?
Myth.
Yeah.
Unless it's an air plant. So most plants will do an exchange of water when they're taking in carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen. There is some water transpiration that happens in that process. So if you have a environment that is high humidity, like your bathroom, plants are not going to lose as much water because it's going to go to where there's the least amount of resistance, right? So if it's really dry air, your plant's gonna dry out faster.
Okay.
So that's why people find in the wintertime, they might be watering more often because the air's drier.
Yeah.
And so it's taking the water away from your plant through the leaves.
Yeah.
Watering the leaves is not gonna be an effective way of rehydrating your plant though, unless it's an air plant. Air plants do take in water through their leaves. Their roots are mainly just to anchor them onto a plant so they get optimal sunlight.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Air plants.
They're kind of funky thing. So when you're getting water on your leaves, you're just increasing the chance that it's going to get fungus. Yeah. And sometimes they can cause spotting, like on African violets.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It bruises the leaves. They don't like that.
Right.
So better just to go straight to the soil and water there.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so plants get their energy from the soil through the roots.
Some of it.
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
half now.
Right. Well, so plants need water, soil, sunlight. They use the soil to get their nutrients.
Okay.
They need the sunlight in order to working on those nutrients and making the sugars they need. And they need the water in order to be hydrated and grow. So you really have to have all three.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
To grow.
Yeah. Okay, so putting plants indoors like lavender. Can you put a lavender plant inside your bedroom?
You can, but it'll only last maybe a week. It won't last long term. Yeah. So that's definitely myth. And I see a lot of things out there in internet world, social media that says 5 best plants for your bedroom: lavender and eucalyptus, but they may be beneficial, but the reality is they need full sun to grow, which means they need to be outside getting at least 8 hours or more of sunlight directly on their leaves to thrive. So that's a myth.
So we just say sun's only a reason, or like indoor versus outdoor plants. Like, can I put a snake plant outside? Can that be an outside plant, or is it just based on temperature?
No, you can have snake plants outside, but they tend to need a little more shade.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely grow. Like, you go down to Florida, that's their plants in their landscaping. Yeah. And you could possibly even see snake plants that grow in full sun. They just might be more stunted in growth. You might see some brown spotting on their leaves. Yeah. So, yes, you can have them outside in the right conditions.
How about overall perennials? Can I put a perennial inside my house, or would I ever want to?
Not necessarily, because a perennial is a plant that usually dies down and comes back again the following year. So they really typically have a cooling period in order to reset. And if they don't have that, you're going to find it, most of the time it just gets weaker. Yeah. At least plants that are perennials here in Ohio.
Yeah, that are built like that. Okay.
So temporarily would be okay, but eventually you need to have it outside.
Okay, very good. Can you water with ice cubes? Water your plants with ice cubes.
You can, but I wouldn't do it long term. Okay. So some truth to that. Like when we go to trade shows and all of these huge displays are set up in convention centers, the plants they're all live plants and potted, but they can't go around and just water and water and water. So a lot of times the trick that growers will do is they'll put ice cubes on the pots and let them slowly melt down to keep the plants just hydrated enough to get them through the show. A lot of times people say orchids, you can just add a couple ice cubes, you sure can do that. It's a great way to have a visualization of how much water to give an orchid. A couple ice cubes, a couple tablespoons of water. The orchids, I don't prefer it just because they don't naturally come in contact with ice.
Yeah. Like it's
So
cold.
it is cold. Typically it melts fast enough it's not going to do any damage. But you can just do a couple tablespoons of water.
All right. Nice. Plants don't grow back after pruning.
Ooh, again, it depends on what it is
True.
and where you prune it.
Yeah.
Because let me think of an example. Oh, rhododendrons. Okay. People are always asking me, I have this huge rhododendron. I've had it for like 30 years. It's massive. Can I trim it down to make it smaller? There are ones that, if it's either this thing gets trimmed or I'm going to pull it out, try it. But the way rhododendrons grow, or most other shrubs, if you trim past where there's any leaves on a stem, like if you trim so far down that there's just a stem and there's no leaves at all, you might not make it.
Yeah.
It might not be able to leaf back out.
Yeah.
Some shrubs are able to push out some leaves on the side, but not all of them.
Okay. Yeah. So got shrubs, but what can you prune? Like, should you be pruning things? What helps to prune?
A lot of plants that grow in segments where they have like leaves that come out, a stem, another set of leaves. If they're getting really tall, a trim on the tip of it, or like a third of what it's grown maybe, does force a plant to grow out from other places than just the tips. So if you have a house plant like a jade that's kind of getting really tall and wobbly, if you trim some of those top pieces, it's going to push out growth at the sides because it goes, I can't go any farther on the tips.
Go out.
Same thing for like your hanging baskets.
Okay.
If it's getting really, really long and not full at the top,
Yeah.
give it a haircut around the tips.
Yeah.
And it's going to try to force out growth other places.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Let's try adding rocks to the bottom of your pot. Like I get a new terracotta pot. Oh, I want to put some more like drainage. I'm going to put some little pebbles on the bottom. Like it makes sense, but is it good?
Sure. Yeah, it can be helpful.
Okay.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's, you can if you want, you don't have to. Situations that are helpful would be if you have a really deep saucer that's more than a couple inches. If you don't want your plant sitting in that much water, if your saucer's full, if you put rocks in the bottom of your pot, it's going to keep it above that water level.
Okay.
If it's a pot that has no hole, you can put some rocks in the bottom of it so that, again, you're keeping the roots off of the possibility of being in water.
Right.
And just sitting in water. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. Would like the rocks not absorb water, but just keep the water in there, it'd be trapped even more? Like would the rocks even trap the water? And just
not necessarily. A lot of times the plant will eventually reach down in there and use up that extra water. Even if your soil's touching the rocks, it's gonna also translocate through the soil up to your plant as well.
All right, very good. Well, that's all we have for our myths and truth on our plants.
That was fun.
Any others? I don't know. I can't think of anything.
That's okay.
Yeah. That everyone needs to know. Do not do this.
I'd say if you have a question, then we'd love to hear it. So, drop us a line. And send us a message because, they're usually very common questions. A lot of people preface their questions to me with, I got to do a stupid question. And then I was like, try me. Because it's not.
Right.
And if you have that question, I can guarantee you 100 other people have that too. So, we'd be happy to answer it.
Yeah, well, that's it for this episode. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.